Today we're going to be talking about a massive acquisition by Embracer Group, mouse and keyboard support potentially coming to Xbox game streaming, but to kick things off, let's break down this GFN Thursday in which we have a big new feature rolling out. So let's jump right in and get to it. Much like every GFN Thursday, we have some new games coming to the service this week, but before we list out those titles, I want to begin by talking about a new feature that's currently available via the Chrome browser, and it's a big one. And that's that RTX 3080 members can now stream at 1440p 120 FPS via the browser itself, and I should also mention that the Edge browser works too. It's as simple as going to play.geforcenow.com, logging in, selecting the top left, and then going into settings, hitting custom, and then selecting 1440p and 120 FPS. This sort of implementation is great, because while you may have the app installed on your home PC or laptop, when you go out or are using a different PC, you can now enjoy the benefits of your 3080 membership without having to download the app on a device you may not own. It's just an overall smoother process, and as somebody who currently games at 1440p 120 FPS, I find it hard to go back from it. The resolution bump is very welcome, but the 120 FPS is definitely the star of the show because it lowers latency even further, and I gotta say, as somebody who plays a lot of games locally, it becomes really hard to tell the difference between local and cloud gaming apart. Simply awesome addition, but now it's time we take a look at the list of games coming to GeForce Now this week. The highlight this week definitely goes to Thymesia, which is a brand new release, and it's described as a grueling action RPG with fast-paced combat and an intricate plague weapon system. It's currently sitting at a mostly positive over on Steam, and people are having a really great time with it. While it definitely reminds you of the Souls franchise just by simply looking at it, it's in particular being described as Bloodborne and Sekiro-esque, where parrying is extremely important and an aggressive fighting style is highly encouraged. Now, other than Thymesia, there are 5 other games arriving this week, and that includes Century Age of Ashes, Clanfolk, Koromon, Hypercharge Unboxed, and Phoenix Point. Next up, let's talk about a massive acquisition spree that's just been done by Embracer Group. If you don't recognize the name, well, it may come as a surprise that they are possibly the biggest publisher in the game right now when it comes to sheer quantity of studios. Do note, this graphic is about 7 months old, and there have been more acquisitions since then. Back in May, they added Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal to their acquisitions. And yesterday, they went on a bit of a spree announcing that Tatsujin, Singtrix, Geotech, Bitwave Games, Limited Run Games, Middle-earth Enterprises, Tuxedo Labs, and Tripwire Interactive are also being acquired. Now, if you're wondering how this relates to cloud gaming news, well, that's because they're a publisher that does actually put a lot of their games on cloud gaming services. You may or may not recognize some of the names acquired, such as Tripwire Interactive, who's responsible for the Killing Floor franchise as well as Chivalry 2, and while others may have nothing to do with the cloud, such as the purchase of Limited Run Games, which specifically focuses on making physical copies of indie hits, regardless, it's a major bit of news. They now own the Lord of the Rings IP. Just that alone means quite a lot because there were a lot of people interested in buying it. Still kinda shocked they got away with it considering Amazon was apparently very interested in purchasing it themselves. But at the end of the day, I think this is just a sign of what's to come. A lot of companies are gonna be buying up other companies. This isn't gonna slow down or stop anytime soon. While I don't expect any major changes in the gaming landscape in the short term, I think it'll be very interesting to see how things settle out in the long term. Let me know how you feel about all these acquisitions down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. But for now, let's move over to the Xbox news of the day, and this time it revolves around mouse and keyboard support potentially being on the way. This was announced to be coming a little bit ago, but we weren't given a specific date on when it would arrive. But recently, it was noticed that the Xbox gaming app on PC was updated to add a search bar to the cloud gaming section, and there also is now an icon for a mouse. This does seem to imply that support is well on its way, and we probably will be seeing it very soon. If I had to take a guess, and once again this is a complete guess, we'll hear something about this at Gamescom. I think it makes a ton of sense to see an announcement there, especially if the feature is coming soon, and I wouldn't be too surprised to hear about those non-Game Pass titles being playable via Xbox Cloud Gaming there as well. The whole mouse and keyboard support is definitely a big deal for me, because I do most of my cloud gaming on my PC actually. But I think it brings up a very interesting scenario for Xbox users. Potentially being able to play PC-only games on your Xbox by just plugging in a mouse and keyboard seems like an awesome deal. Games like Age of Empires 4, which is made by Xbox Game Studios, would suddenly now be playable via the console. As for myself, I'm still rooting to see some sort of higher resolution support. I would love to see 4K streaming or at least 1440p streaming, but let me know what you think. Is mouse and keyboard support for Xbox Cloud Gaming a big deal for you? Do you see yourself using it? If not, what feature would matter more to you? Let me know down below. And with that, we've wrapped up this Cloud Gaming News Day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is actually going to be asking for some feedback. Yesterday I posted one of the first shorts on the channel, and it's called a News Hot Drop. These shorts will be focused purely on game updates surrounding the biggest titles in the cloud gaming space. The idea is to tell you what's new within a game, where you can play it, and how long it's available for. I know some users have told me that they don't get notifications for shorts, so if you haven't seen it already, be sure to check it out. It's either in the annotation above or on the channel. Let me know whether or not that sort of content is relevant to you, because it really helps me grow the channel in a way that benefits both of us. I do think one of the coolest things about cloud gaming is being able to hop into a game without having to download them, and now with so many live service games that are having events all the time, cloud gaming really is the way I do this most. Either way, that's all for this message. If you haven't already, be sure to join our community Discord, links in the description below. Would love to hear your feedback there as well. As always, thanks for watching, I hope you had a great day. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.